local team to us. We're close. He said, do you want to come in, give me a hand for a few weeks? And, without even hesitation, just went, yep. I fancy that. So went in and helped him out. League One, the facilities, obviously spent a big portion of my career Premier League level to drop down into League One. I loved it. It was refreshing. Close-knit squad, close-knit staff, everyone mucking in. A few of the lads, no kit man, voluntary kit men travelling all over the country without pay, just doing it for the love of the club. So it was refreshing. Young lads sort of really receptive, asking questions, and it was nice to get back out there. But it was always a position that I was going in to just help him out short term. Wally Downs obviously went into, who's now the manager, but that gave me a taste for it again. But also the fact that, by all means, I would manage or coach at that level, no problem at all. That's where my career started in the lower leagues, and sometimes there's quite an honesty, and a quite refreshing way about how the teams in the lower leagues operate.
Are you happy with where you are in life at this precise moment? Do you feel fulfilled, or do you think football and having that passion back in your life will give you the fulfillment that you're searching for?
Still, I think we're all still chasing that real, happiness, and I suppose part of this break has been trying to get there, trying to get to that space where obviously the years before, the injuries, they take their toll. I was quite open during my career, and bits that I've said after, sports psychology, massive part of my career. Some of the tough times I did have, probably forgot to mention it earlier in the interview, was the help. The sports psychology is actually, there's a few moments in my career where I had to ask for help, from certain people at certain clubs. Sports psychology becoming massive now, wasn't as big then, but it's something that if it gives you that extra 5-10%, that can be the difference. But I'm definitely in a place now where I'm more clear in the direction I'm going and what I want to go on and do, and maybe by, like I say, having that break again has made me realise that.
Players and the trappings that come with being a professional footballer, in particular in the Premier League, are massive, along with the rewards. I mean, what advice would you give to any young player, financial advice that is, about keeping hold of their money or how to invest their money? I mean, it's such a dangerous area for young players. What advice would you give?
It's tough because I made big mistakes in that area earlier on in your career. You trust certain people that you probably shouldn't. You're a little bit naive when you're younger. You've not got the knowledge and to know about these things. When most of our generation, from where we grew up, you're not really educated in earning a lot of money at a young age. It's just important that people having good people around, good family, good advice. For me, I've had one or two mentors throughout my whole career and still speak with Sean Dyche, once or twice a week, long, usually an hour on the phone. Neil Harris, went in to see Neil Harris, manager of Millwall, yesterday, spent a bit of time there. Just good people, good advice, people that you can trust around you, because where there is big money, and certainly in football, you're going to get a lot of people that are out to take it off the lads, with bad advice and bad investments. But the money these boys are earning now, not only is it difficult in that regard, but also just mentally dealing with that sort of wealth at 18, 19, it can be difficult. There's probably only a few that can deal with that fame and that kind of money. So, in a way, I think it's become more difficult now for the younger players with social media, Instagram, the pressures, every game's on TV pretty much now. It's so huge. Every player, needs to be a role model. It's a lot of pressure, so I fully respect you I look at someone like Raheem Sterling. For me, I kind of, in a way, look up to players like that can deal with performing at that level every single week, criticism that he's had, yet he can still deliver that and, do the bits and pieces, charity work and what he is doing. And, for me, players like that have got my total respect.
29 games gone in the Premier League season. Man City sitting pretty clear at the top. Do you think Liverpool have enough in the tank to catch them this year? Or do you think Man City will wrap up the title?
It's going to be tight. I think Man City, for me, might just, maybe with the experience of the titles they've won in the last few seasons, it's going to be tight. Liverpool only lost one game all season, but still, it's that tight. Whether mentally, after having at one stage, I think it was 9 or 10 point gap at the top of the league, to now it becomes, I don't know, sometimes mentally it can be difficult. When you're at the top and you're aiming for the title, to then that pressure of winning it, that can be really tough. But, whoever it goes to, the two top teams in the league, great football. And even if Liverpool did finish second with the way they've gone about it, the football they've played, it's been a really good title race. But I just think City might just have that edge because of maybe that experience of winning it. But who knows? It'd be great for me if Liverpool. I was a Liverpool fan as a kid. They've not won it in so long. Obviously, talented squad, and the manager's got so much character about him.
What do you think about Jurgen Klopp as a manager? Is he someone you would have liked to have played under?
Yeah, I think definitely his energy. That type of energy is infectious. If you're a coach though in the other technical area, it's a different matter. But I think he's been great for the game. Obviously now the Premier League's attracting a lot of the top coaches and managers in the world, and I just think now football needs a lot of characters like that. Not all like that, but those different types of characters that have got that charisma, got that personality, that give something a little bit different. For me, I think I'd like to see Liverpool do it. It's been that long. Obviously, I was a Liverpool fan as a kid, and I think it will also open the doors for other clubs to believe that they can do it and compete with although Liverpool have spent huge as well. I think Man City, after last season, I think people expected a dominance for which I think they will. Obviously won another trophy a couple of weeks ago, but it's becoming a really, really competitive league, that top four, and also the mini league that goes on underneath that.
Standout player in the Premier League for you this season, someone you think's good value, who you've enjoyed watching, for you, the number one player in the Premier League?
Probably, I know a lot have said it, but Van Dijk. I think it's something over the last few years at Liverpool defensively. Maybe there has been a weakness there. Goalkeeper as well has been outstanding.
Alisson, what a signing he's been.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. That confidence from the goalkeeper can spread throughout the team when you've got that quality of keeper behind you. That does breed confidence in a back four, in a back five. But for me, probably Van Dijk, because the game does look so easy for him. I know that Carragher, I think, said it a couple of weeks ago when whatever game it was, and it does. It just looks like he's playing in second gear. He's got the pace, strength, size. When we played against Southampton, when I was at Palace in the tunnel, you don't realise sometimes the size of some of these. I'm 6'1", but he's a giant. But
the same thing when I met Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, these lads are huge. Physical, quick, strong. So for me, I'd go Van Dijk's probably been the standout performer this season.
For me, Van Dijk looks like the closest thing I've probably seen to Rio Ferdinand in the Premier League. Do you think that's a fair comparison and a fair accolade to attach to Van Dijk?
I think so. Never flustered, good in possession, quick, strong, good in the air. He's got the package. Obviously played against Rio many times, but he had a good foil as well. I'd just done my pro licence, graduated in the summer, and Vidic was on the pro licence.
Was he really?
Yeah, it's Vidic, Nicky Butt. We had younger ones. We had Nigel Clough. We had managers on the course as well. And they had a great mix, Vidic, and for me, that was probably the best pairing. You know, Vidic, you know,
physicality and class, isn't it?
yeah, but Rio had that as well. But Vidic, you know, had the broken nose. He'd put his head in where maybe others wouldn't. So it was a good mix. So yeah, I think Van Dijk's probably the closest thing I've seen to Rio. Comfort on the ball, but you know, the whole package of a centre back.
You've played with some fantastic players in your career, like we mentioned, the likes of Brad Friedel, Andrew Cole, Dwight Yorke, Roy Keane, Damien Duff. Yeah. If you had to pick a five-a-side team out of the players that you've had the pleasure of playing with, not against, just with, who would be in your selection?
Probably be an attacking one.
Yeah. We love attacking teams here at Full Court.
It's probably, I'm not sure there's many defenders going to make it, to be honest. Two guy be number one. Yeah. Just especially if it's a five-side pitch, because he was just the best ball player I've ever seen.
Great signing for Blackburn.
Yeah, smoked 40 a day, I think. He did. He would. Yeah, this was when I was. He would, you know, have a cigarette before the game. Somewhere.
You're joking me?
No, yeah, not in the dressing room or anything like that. But he would disappear, come back, go out and be the best player on the pitch. Unbelievable. But so talented, you know, top footballer. How he didn't play, obviously played at Galatasaray, Rangers, Blackburn. But you know, for me, he should have been at your Milans and Barcelona, Real. He was that good. Couldn't get the ball off him. Never gave the ball away. Well, anyway, he's definitely
in there. He's definitely in there. Lighter, cigarettes, the whole lot.
Roy Keane, he would have to be in there. Obvious reasons. Winner. You know, people underestimate he could play. You know, short and long passing, determination, drive others around him. Damien Duff, genius. Right or left wing, could go either way, could go down the line, could cut inside. He had the lot. Craig Bellamy would probably be in there. When we had one season with him at Blackburn, and he was a winner. You know, feisty, would dig people out. Yeah, it could be a little bit. You know, it'd let you know if you weren't performing. But I think you need that. I think you need players in the dressing room, one or two that do dig players out, you know, drive other players forward.
Who's your goalie?
Rush goalie, isn't it? No.
That's the way you want to play it. That's the way you want to play it, mate.
Probably two. Luckily enough to play with Brad Friedel at Blackburn, but Ben Foster as well when I was at West Brom. You know, for me, the top keepers. You know, there's a lot of good keepers that won't let you down, but your Brad Friedels, Ben Fosters, you know, Shay Given, you know, they win you games. You know, they produce a big save at a big moment that wins you. I think Souness used to say Brad was like 10, 15 points a season for the team because of the big moments in games.
Did you know the longevity that man would have when you was playing with Brad Friedel? He seems like he's just been around forever.
Yeah, I did, because of the way he went about his business every day. He would do yoga daily. You talk, and that's going back 10 years.
So you got Friedel in one corner doing the yoga. You got two guys just going outside having a quick smoke. What a five-a-side team you're putting together here, mate.
Great mix. But he was model professional, stretching before training, after training. Looked after himself. Body fat probably 7%. Nothing on him, Brad. And no surprise that he's playing till 42. There's no rocket science in that. You look after yourself, do it right, you can have a long career in the game.
You didn't include yourself in the five-a-side squad. May I ask why that is?
Probably wouldn't.
You've not seen your own Football Manager stats from 2000. I mean, you was an absolute beast. You've got to put yourself in this team.
Defender, midfielder, right, left, centre.
Play anywhere on the field. Do a job.
Yeah, but that was, I think, having that ability can, you know, there's some that you sort of say you don't ever master one position, but you're good at many. But for me, I think it gave me a lot more appearances. So I filled in at right wing, left wing, centre. I played in every position on the pitch.
193 Premier League appearances in a variety of positions, probably 6 positions.
Yeah, even when I was at Millwall, I had a couple of games at left back, filled in at centre back at times, centre mid. Started as a striker when I was YTS player. So played every position. So luckily, if you can do that, that gives you another string to your bow. You can fill in one week rather than just being a specialist in one. You, sort of utility tag, probably a little bit unfair, but might give you that extra 50, 60 appearances in your career. You know, definitely helped me, that's for sure.
It's definitely going to help with tactics as well if it comes to the management side. Understanding them positions to play them at that high level, at that standard, it's got to stand you in good stead in the future, surely.
Yeah, but sort of good coaching as well. Towards the back end of my career, you almost become a coach on the pitch. You're moany older pro, sort of telling the younger players where to be, so that you don't have to run into that position if the ball gets there. But you become quite smart, and tactically you kind of get the game a little bit more. Probably one last addition to probably Benny McCarthy. You know, yeah, when we used to get Porto won the Champions League with under Mourinho. He came in at Blackburn, breath of fresh air, lively character, but again delivered. You know, liked a night out at that time, but come Saturday or Tuesday or whatever, he delivered.
He's defo your pal. I can see your eyes. I can see your eyes light up when you mention that.
Yeah, but that's, you know, that's the thing in a dressing room. You need a mix of all different characters. Although now the game has changed a little bit. It is more professional. Every player is fitter, stronger, quicker. You know, body fats, they're all lean. But at the same time, when when the opportunity's right, you still got to enjoy yourself. You know, I'm not saying it's going out and getting hammered, have a night out, but really important that you sort of enjoy those moments and, you know, have a good time. Probably something that I didn't do enough of when I was playing. You sort of look back now and you remember the good times, but when you're in it, sometimes you don't enjoy it as much as you should.
One thing I've got to ask you about why I've got you here is playing against Arsenal with a broken leg. Oh, yeah. Is this a genuinely true story, or has it been sort of embellished over the years?
No, it was. So we played against Arsenal. Actually conceded it was a dive. So I went in on Cazorla. Referee's given a penalty. A little bit later on in the game, I think it was about half hour gone. They had a corner. Ball came in. And it was Boaz. I think Ben Foster was injured, so Myhill's come for the ball, absolutely cleaned me out. So it was quite high, just below the knee, but just by my tib. I think it was my tib on the outside. So it was sore, but I thought my first reaction was, I've done my knee again. You know, all them emotions coming back. Here we go again, injured again. All of that goes through your mind. Can't come off again, so I'm going to get through it. A little bit sore at half time, a little bit of treatment, sort of went back out, a little bit sore, well, quite sore, so just carried on. But we had our Christmas do in London with West Brom after the game, so we played at Arsenal. So tradition then was go out Saturday, Sunday as well, have another day out. And I didn't want to miss that as well, to be honest.
Well, it's a big moment. It's a big moment.
I didn't want to miss that, so... Ben Foster actually West Brom tweeted a few months ago, had a mystery sort of picture. Who's this? What's your best memory of me? So Ben Foster's put Christmas do after we played Arsenal, playing an hour of a broken leg just to go on the Christmas do for 2 days. Brilliant. So we had our Saturday, Sunday Christmas do, went into training Monday, hobbled into, I think we all dived in a car, went to training. I couldn't walk. You know, the leg was swollen, the physio could hardly touch it, so the doc, pretty much knew wasn't, so ended up getting a scan and there was a hairline fracture and was out for 6 weeks. But pretty scary as well. That moment, I was actually, it scared me a bit that I can play for an hour with a broken leg. That's not healthy, that's, you made you sort of think about, actually long term, what you're doing to you know, how's your body going to be in 10 years? If you can play through that, do I feel certain things where, you know, I can brush off? But, you know, it was quite worrying. But anyway, got back from that, back playing. But that was an hour with a broken leg.
More importantly, did you enjoy the Christmas party? That's what we want to know.
Sunday I was hobbling around a little bit, but it was I think that was probably it might be my last or second to last one at West Brom. But again, good dressing room and good opportunity. I know Christmas dues, I think they need to be done at the right time, and I think if you're in a certain position in the league,
maybe not at Christmas.
Well, yeah, especially when you're. You know, I've been in situations where you're near the bottom of the league, and for me, you need to be smart and not have one, and have a bite to eat. But at that time, yeah, we had a good time, but leg was sore.
Stephen, there's so much more I could talk to you about. We seem like we've been here, time's just flying by. I really appreciate you talking to Full Court Football 24. It's great to get you on the channel, mate, and hopefully in the future when you're managing one big team, maybe you can get us down for a little bit of secret training footage. We really appreciate that, mate. And thank you ever so much again for your time.
Cheers.
Top man, Steve.
Thank you. Cheers. Enjoyed it.